Hello, welcome to Rewrite Your Reality with Reese. I am your host, and today I'm going to break down the law of assumption. I'm going to break down the techniques we use to create the reality of our desires or dreams, and how we experience these things, and how we typically approach what the law of assumption is. Right? Because there was a question on my channel, Facebook group specifically, about how to use the law of assumption to automate your life. Create money, create food, create health, relationships, that kind of idea, and how to just go about enjoying your life while the rest of it's automated. Right. So diving into this powerful shift on how we approach reality creation using the law of assumption and I am principles. Okay, complete reframe and relook at this idea again and again and again. It's the same idea, but we're looking at it from a different point every single time. Now, most people that are understanding law of assumption use it as a manifestation tool, like a normal technique that we use around it. Kind of like a hammer or a vending machine, right? But the law of assumption is not a tool. What you are assuming of your life is your life. What you are assuming of who you are is your experiencing of life. What you are assuming reality is your experience of reality. Kind of all the same thing, frankly. But you're looking at a different viewpoint from each of those explanations that I just said. Your physical experience, your awareness experience, and your experience of reality as a whole. But it's all you. You are using the law of assumption 24/7 just by existing. You can't exist without the law of assumption as an experience. You see, the law of assumption, the phrasing, it's just a phrase referring to the nature of your existence. The law of assumption is just a phrase referring to the nature of your existence. So the nature of your existence is what we refer to as the law of assumption, as in what you are assuming is your life. But we're calling what your awareness as intention the law of assumption, which creates your life, right? Remember, it's coming from a knowing. If you were to just remove the English and the language, if you just remove the language of law of assumption, what would your life be, right? If you removed the actual language that we use, what would your life be? Okay? Like I said, we use I am, we use law of assumption, we use the communication aspect of being human to communicate with each other. But these words, they don't have the power, right? The law of assumption, as you would put it, as I would put it, as we all put it, is only a phrase referring to your actual focusing on a part of reality with the intention that's your physical experience, right? So when you focus on a part of reality with the intention that this is now your physical experience of life, that's it. That's who you are now. That's all. That's literally the law of assumption, magnitude simplified, whatever, completed. That's it. Whatsoever you put your focus on with the intention that this is now you, it's done. That's it. And remember, because the law of assumption is nothing more than words that we are using to explain a natural process that we are already always doing as our life. You are not the one doing your life. You are reality being reality. You are the assumption of your life. You are what you are assuming your life is. That assumption is that focusing. That assumption is that intention. The automation doesn't come from efforting and hacking life, right? It comes from dropping the belief that you are the one that does stuff as awareness. So you don't have to automate one part and then so you can enjoy another part. All of it is your life. You don't do breathing. You can, becomes annoying. You don't beat your heart. You don't make yourself heal. You breathe, you beat, your heart beats, and it just heals. It just does it. The automation of your life is not about control, it's about identification. Who and what you identify as is reality. Make that your assumption of who you are. Make that your intention. Like, I intend myself to see myself as reality. Identify as the one for whom everything is already done, because you are reality. And if you are reality, and since you are reality, all of reality must be done. Not what it has in your perception have done up until this point. And at this point, what you are imagining as a future must still unfold to have already happened. No, it already happened, all of it. That's automation. Automatically realizing I am reality. So when people persist in something, they often don't know what they're really doing. What are you persisting in, right? You are experiencing the building of a multidimensional life experience, like a painting, a mosaic, a puzzle. You're building it from parts that come into creation from knowing other parts of creation, right? But it's all existing now. You're just building it and building it and building it and building it and building it, right? And the more you become aware of, the more you can become aware of, right? Becoming aware of eggs makes you become aware of other things that revolve around eggs, like scrambled eggs, omelets. It's the same thing, right? I know it's a small example, but that's how reality is. You become aware of other things via other things, but they always existed, right? So from the outside, you see versions of people who were continuously being their identity. From within, they're just following they are just following an inner knowing, and from reality perspective, it's all from you. So whatever you are seeing as your reality is what you are contemplating as your reality. So if you're seeing people who are not living their dreams, it's because you don't believe in that. It's because you're allowing that experience. But if you know your reality, and regardless of what you are seeing, you persisting in your identity, that's what will start unfolding and what you'll start seeing in and as reality. People living their dream life, because you are living a dream life, and you realize everything revolving around you must be an experience of I am awareness, love, creation, whatever, right? So you are as a physical body, you are one piece of the puzzle, and as that piece, you become aware of the greater part of you. Desires, inspirations, states, whatever, right? I am this. You're becoming aware of what I am. You're becoming aware of what you are, basically, right? You're not waiting for the other pieces to come into view so you can know what it is. You just know that, hey, this section of what it is I'm imagining, this desire, I want to live that life. Deeper, there's parts of it that I don't know, that my higher self knows, I want to live. So I'm saying, yes, this desire is my desired end. There are other parts within it that I want to live and experience. I assume all those parts are done as well, even though I don't know it, even though I don't know the whole picture. I am this now. And from there, the rest of the image, reality, begins to shape itself around you as awareness, you as the physical being experiencing reality physically, right? So you don't have to try to do the important parts, have fun in the fun parts, and then delegate the boring or basic parts to your I am awareness, your higher self, the law of assumption, automating this idea. All of it is your life. It's all automatic. To even contemplate yourself doing a certain part and your I am awareness is doing another part is foolish, because it's not realizing that I am awareness is who you are and it is doing all of it. And you're still segmenting parts of your life. You're still segregating parts of your life. You're still creating separation where there isn't any. Right? You're not realizing that you are that awareness that is controlling the experiencing of your life. You're not doing parts of your life. You are being all of it. And the more you try to do, the less you be. But the more you try not to do, the more the less you be as well, which is kind of like this weird balancing act. So don't try and balance it, just do. Do whatever you want to do. But realize what it is you are doing. If you're trying to do something, then because you're impatient or whatever it is, maybe just come back to stillness first and then see. Right? Or don't. Do it anyway. Doesn't matter. That's the point. It doesn't matter. There's no right way. I always see people trying to make a right way to do things. There's no right way. Do it. Or don't do it. It doesn't matter. Make an assumption that whatever it is I do, whatever it is I don't do, because I'm having this thought spiral in the moment, I'm going to spiral because I don't know how to get out of the spiral other than just keep going. So spiral and say I am anyway, because you are anyway, and you can spiral anyway. It doesn't matter. Sometimes we get so fixated on doing something right, where there's no right way to do it. And that's the right way to do it, knowing that there isn't one. So next time you're wondering how to manifest faster, how to automate your abundance, your relationship to health, stop and ask yourself, what am I assuming I am? I am assuming I'm separate from the law of assumption. I must use it to create my life, opposed to just saying I am. That's about it. Because you aren't trying to build the life you want. You're waking up to the fact that you are life itself, and the life that you want already exists in a series of unbroken frames from right now. So assume you are that. And this mosaic of your life, this puzzle of your life, this picture of your life, this painting of your life, the whole image of your life will reveal itself, because that's what you're here to do. You're here to experience the unveiling of your dream life, not just stuff popping in, not just waking up and there's money in your account. I did see a very funny post, and it shows you the mentality of people in any given moment. Such an interesting picture. I saw somebody jumping out of I think it was a hot air balloon backwards and going skydiving. What a scene that was. And there were people in the comments saying, I'm happy I don't have money to do this. And it's just such an interesting comment, whether they were joking or not. It was a very interesting comment where it's like, poverty saved me from doing this kind of thing. You know? And that mentality, that idea is creating this person's life experience, whatever that life experience is, right? Whether it's fear of doing this, or the required need to do this, or whatever it is, your assumptions are creating your life experience, right? So what are your assumptions of who you are? Who are you? You are reality, and you can just literally leave it there. I am your host, Reese. This is Rewrite Your Reality with Reese. Just remember that the law of assumption is what your life is now. It is setting the intention of what your life is now. The words law of assumption are just the words referring to this. So focus with the intention that I am this. Focus with the intention of knowing that I am already experiencing this in a physical way right now, and in this frame that I'm experiencing it in. There is an unbroken chain of events from now to that frame for the experiencing of that frame. There is an unbroken chain of events from now to that frame for my experiencing of that frame. I don't have to make that frame happen. That frame already happened. I don't have to make this frame that frame. This frame isn't that frame. Both frames exist in my awareness. I'm unconsciously, with my higher self, creating a bridge from here to there, and I'm walking that bridge right now. That's who you are. That's what law of assumption is. That's what imagining is. All good. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for the subscribing. Thank you for the following. Thank you for the sharing. Thank you for the joining on my Facebook group and my TikTok page as well. If you want to get a hold of me, you can join Facebook and ask questions there. Ask questions in the comment section, or you can check my email. It's in the box below, I believe. That being said, much love, much light, and I will see you all in the next one.